All right, I want to do a hopefully brief video on how to navigate the course. We will go over, or depending on when you're watching this video, we have gone over some of the basics, but I think it's also helpful to have a video that you can refer to. So whenever you log into Blackboard, you're going to land on the page that has all of the classes that you are going to be taking by semester. So once you get into this class, let me get into student view so you can see what I see. You're always going to be on the announcement page. Please get into the habit of checking the announcements regularly. You decide what regularly is. I will generally on Friday, probably more likely Saturday, early-ish in the day, I will post an announcement and I will say, a few things. One, a couple of people had a question, so I want to clarify it before class next week. And two, the work for the next week is now open. So it's just a reminder. Okay, so always start on the announcement page. Also, if something comes up, like I needed to change the date that something is due, I will tell you in the announcement. So if you look over here on the left, these are the parts of there's a lot that's available in Blackboard, and this is what I'm choosing to use. So the first one is the syllabus and the calendar. For most of the materials for this class, I am providing it in both Word format and in PDF. Personally, I like Word, but I know that not everyone uses it, even though you all have access to it. So, and it's just here, it's just easier for me to use the PDF version. So I'm going to, before I get into the syllabus, let me tell you, we have to supply the students with the resources, policies, and procedures document. Every single class that is offered through the community colleges of Connecticut are supposed to share this, and then we can personalize it a bit. But it is pretty standard, so I encourage you to take a look at it. It has interesting information about, I don't even know, all the resources that are available. It talks about plagiarism. It talks about some of the disability services. It talks about if you're a veteran. I think it talks about financial aid. I don't remember. I mean, it was a couple days ago that I looked at it. But anyways, very quickly, I'm going to get into the the syllabus. I am not going to spend time reading it to you. You need to read it, but I figure you can read. So what I wanted to call your attention to here, hopefully there are no typos. This is my email. Actually, it doesn't need a capital M, but it'll get to me anyway. I am not on campus. I am actually not even in Connecticut. That's why I'm doing the class as an Elron class. But, so you can always, a good way to reach out to me is through the community college email. Or I will show you in a minute how you can send me a message within Blackboard. But let's say you have a question that needs to be answered fairly quickly. You can send me a text to my Google number. The colleges do not like faculty using non-college approved means of communication. So maybe I'm subversive, I'm not sure. But this might even be something like, Professor Gowan, I sent you an email yesterday and I haven't heard from you. And that alerts me that I need to check into it. So that's a good way to get in touch with me if you have to do it quickly. I am not a night owl. Generally, as of 8 p.m., I stop checking I stop turning on my computer. I will have my phone next to me, but I'll log in the next morning by 6. So just so you know. What else did I want to tell you about this? Kind of standard. I go over how everything is graded. Yep. Okay, we will definitely talk about Oregon. We have talked about this in class because I know it's important. And then I've got a few paragraphs about important things. There's a concept called green cards that I want to make sure I go over in class. I tried to do it to make your life easier and my life easier. There's an idea of, not an idea, how we are required to, like, if you have a excuse me, a 76.98, it's a C. Honestly, I tend to round up. So again, I guess I'm more subversive than I thought. But anyways, if you think that's bad, feel free to report me to the dean that I'm rounding up. But in any case, and then there's a schedule. This is how my plan is to structure the class. Okay. But I also wanted to show you, I have a calendar because I think in calendars. I love charts and graphs. So this is set up. I know in the past students have told me that they like to print this out. This way they keep on top of what is due. And so, especially if you're a very visual person, this way you can't say, oh, well, I didn't even know that was due. You know, it's right in front of you. But basically, if you look at this, the quizzes and the journals, and ultimately when we get to the essay, that's always due on Sunday night at midnight. Tuesday night, I said by midnight, I'd like you to complete the survey. We'll go over the survey in class. Then we have class on Wednesday, and in the class we have a discussion. And then you need to do the discussion right up by Friday. I'm going to say that when we're in week 3, I will ask the class to tell me, do you think this works? Is it working for you? Are there some things that we can do a little bit differently? But in any case, I have the entire, so this is like September, October, November, December. It is there. Okay, so that's the syllabus and the calendar. The course content, oops, I should have hidden all these things. Let's just ignore what's below. So I have the whole course created, but I am going to be modifying it based on feedback that I got from students the past 2 semesters. So you will see, generally, I'm not going to open the class too early. So when you click on the work for the week, you will see a lot of folders. Okay, so I say start with this video. So this is what I'm re-recording this now, how to navigate the course. But then there is a video on how to submit work and how to access feedback. I recorded this for the summer class. I have not made any changes since then. Okay, and then there's for this textbook, if you went here and you clicked on my instructor is not assigning resources in a platform, I'd like to use the resources for self-study online. It can help you if you're trying to learn vocabulary, etc. All right, let me get out of there. Okay, but what I wanted to show you was what's going to happen in what I could, chapter 1, because this shows a little bit more what you're going to see on a regular basis, right? There is always a pre-class survey. You click on the link, it takes you to the survey. I will talk about this in class, but this is a way for I see 3 functions. 1, it should be easy couple points for you. 2, it lets me have a good idea before class what I need to go over so we can use class time efficiently. And 3, I'm really big on students taking responsibility for their own learning, and this is something that can help. I put things in that are optional, but I think will enrich the class. Lectures and videos, I used to have a lot. I will now have no more than 2 per chapter. A video will go over things that are not mentioned in the textbook that I think are good to include. And the second video will be important concepts from the chapter that I know in the past students have had some issues with. There's always the the discussion write-up, so it's a good idea to look at the prompt before class. I'm actually thinking of changing this. And there's the journal, and then there's the quiz. So every week, there's the discussion, and then there's the quiz. The journals are roughly every 3 weeks, I think. Okay, so that's the course content. There's another thing called assignment description and sample assignments. I tell you, give you some pointers on how to format a journal or an essay. There's a video. This is, what's it called? YouTube. I like putting stuff up on YouTube. There were some issues with it, so I also have a different way to access it just in case. If you use Google Docs, I have a video that might help you. And then I have a sample works cited page. Let me do it in PDF again. It's also in Word. So anyways, this is how the textbook should be cited if you are using the hard copy of the book. If you happen to have the online version, this is how you would do it. If there's a different version that you're using, let me know. Let me go back here. Oh, I didn't write that. Okay, so if there is a different version that you're using, let me know and we'll figure it out. If you go into Word, then you can just do a copy paste, and then you will know that throughout the entire semester you have done it correctly. Okay, let me go back to here. Okay. There's a resource, I'll talk about that later. There's an example of what a discussion write-up could look like. There's material suggestions on how to do the journal and suggestions on the essay. We won't get to the essay for a while, so you can hang tight for that one. For my grades, the last one, well, 2 more we're going to talk about. This, if I've done it all correctly, shows every single thing that is due and the due date. So you'll have a reminder in the announcements. You will have, if you go into the work for the week, you will see all the due dates, and you see it on the calendar, and you also see it here. So there really is no excuse for students to say, oh, I did not even know I had that assignment. Okay. In another video, I say, once you see how all of these are in black, once you've done them, they'll turn blue. Okay. Let me click on WebEx. Oops, I didn't want to go to WebEx. But anyways, there we have class in WebEx. Definitely download the app. It makes life really easy. Okay, messages. If you want to contact me, I know students like well, students probably want to use mind-to-mind communication, but a lot of students have said to me it's easier for them to send me an email, because if they get a response, they get a notification. If you're going to use messages, maybe not so much. But if you go into create message, who you're going to send it to, and it shows the entire class. So scroll down. It's usually, oh, come on. All right. Usually I'm the last person. Okay. So you would click on this, then what's the subject, and then type. I wanted to call your attention to, when you're done, click on the ABCs so it will spell check it for you. Okay. And I think that's all I wanted to talk about for now, because this video is going on a little longer than I wanted it to. If anything is not clear, just make sure, bring it up in class, because if it's not clear to you, it's probably not clear to somebody else. And I'd be happy to discuss it, because I know that sometimes it can be a little challenging to do this. Okay.